Inside the tranquil embrace of the cottage, Ilara lies cocooned in her thick woolen blanket, the weight pressing gently against her body, enforcing the boundaries between dreams and reality. Sunlight, a tentative whisper, begins to creep into the room, casting a soft glow that dances around the edges of the curtains, illuminating the small motes of dust swirling lazily in the still air. The coolness of the morning envelops her, a contrast to the warmth held by her blanket, and the delicate scent of dried lavender wafts through the space, mixing with the earthy aroma of the forest outside. She stirs slightly, her slender fingers brushing against the soft fabric of her linen tunic, which feels cool against her warm skin. Every breath she takes is deep and slow, weighted with the remnants of sleep, anchoring her to the mattress beneath her. Time seems to stretch infinitely in this peaceful moment, a sanctuary before the world awakens. Ilara lingers in that comforting blur between waking and dreaming, her limbs heavy, as if planted firmly in the earth itself. The woolen blanket slips slightly down her shoulders, revealing the smooth linen of her tunic, soft yet structured, molded to her form. With a deliberate effort, she rolls onto her side, feeling the mattress yield beneath her, a soft indentation that cradles her slender frame. The world outside begins to stir, muted sounds filtering through the window, the soft rustle of leaves in a fresh breeze and the distant call of a morning bird. Each inhalation welcomes the coolness of air, mingling with the floral notes, awakening her senses gradually. Her moss-green eyes flutter, absorbing the developing light and the soft textures of her surroundings, each detail anchoring her attention as she readies herself to greet the day that awaits her. Finally surrendering to the day, Ilara pushes herself upright, the blanket sliding off her shoulders and pooling in soft folds around her waist, revealing the crispness of her cream-colored linen trousers. She sits on the edge of the bed, the cool wood underfoot sending a tiny shiver up her spine as she adjusts to the morning chill. The cottage is bathed in a golden hue now, light spilling freely into the space, painting the walls with warmth and life. She stretches, reaching her arms above her head, fingers brushing against the delicate ceiling beams, feeling a surge of energy pulse through her limbs. Her tranquil focus sharpens, eyes narrowing as she looks toward the window, the promise of a new day reflected in their depth. Today, the world seemed to ripple with possibility, each moment promising its own quiet beauty to uncover. Ilara's fingers tease the edges of the heavy woolen blanket, feeling the tug of its weight. She draws it aside with a measured grace, the fabric gliding smoothly over the quilted bedspread. A rush of cool air sweeps into her space, kissing her bare skin as she pulls the blanket back. A tangible release. The shift stirs the quiet ambience of her room, where shadows dance lazily in the early morning light filtering through sheer curtains. casting soft shapes on the wooden planks below. Shimmering motes of dust drift lazily, encapsulating the stillness of dawn. The chill of the boards beneath her feet anchors her as she swings her legs over the side, grounding herself in the moment, heart quickening in anticipation of what the day might bring. Rising, Ilara unfurls slowly, her slender body a study in quiet determination. She stands poised with intent, the tactile sensation of the cool wood beneath her feet igniting a spark of clarity. Reaching for the ties of her nightgown, she feels the rough yet comforting texture of the cotton fabric as she unfastens each knot. With a practiced fluidity, the garment slips from her shoulders, cascading downward to pool around her ankles. The soft fabric whispers to the floor, a gentle sigh, like a reminder of the night just past. She revels in this newfound lightness, her heart beating in rhythm with the awakening world outside, each pulse echoing the promise of the day ahead. Ilara closes her eyes briefly, reveling in the sensation of release, poised and ready to embrace whatever emerges from the gentle morning. Ilara steps forward, her feet gliding through the airy comfort of her surroundings. As she treads on the cool wood, she can almost feel the room breathe with her. Each careful movement unveils the simplicity of her day's beginning. Her heart-shaped face, now framed by loose dark brown hair, reflects a tranquil resolve. She glances around the familiar space, the wooden beams overhead telling stories of previous mornings just like this. She carefully picks up her cream-colored linen tunic from a chair, the fabric soft and inviting against her fingertips. Donning it, the gentle weight settles onto her shoulders, an embrace rather than a burden. Ilara steps to the window, inhaling deeply, letting the cool, crisp air fill her lungs as she gazes outside, ready not just to dress, but to embody the potential of the day. The fabric glides over her skin, the linen soft and cool against her body as she pulls the tunic over her head. She can feel the gentle weight of the trousers settling comfortably around her waist, their languid drape moving with her as she shifts. The early morning light spills through the window, casting a delicate glow against the wooden beams and dancing across the floor. Mist still clings to the air outside, blurring the edges of the landscape into a dreamlike tapestry of indigo and silver. She catches a glimpse of the world beyond her small room, a kaleidoscope of early spring hues still muted from the lingering night. With each breath, the remnants of sleep dissolve, replaced by a refreshing clarity that blooms within her mind. Colors and shapes around her soften, grounding her in the present moment. Each item in her room whispering a familiar truth. Her fingers trace the grain of the wooden dresser, the texture grounding her as she moves into the daily ritual of awakening. The surfaces, warm from the captured light, feel solid and reassuring under her fingertips. She pauses to study the bookshelf, The spines of books lined up like loyal sentinels, each one holding the promise of adventure and wisdom. With a deliberate motion, she reaches for a favorite volume, the pages crisp and inviting under the weight of her light touch. The scent of aging paper fills her senses, mingling with the freshness of the dawn. Outside, the distant call of a bird punctuates the silence, a signal of life stirring in the world beyond her window. Every inhalation brings a deeper sense of assurance, the fog of her mind lifting gradually, revealing the vast landscape of her thoughts, hopeful and serene as the sunlight grows stronger. She settles into the chair in the corner, its gentle curve cradling her form as she flips open the book. The sunlight streams through the window, catching the golden threads woven into the fabric of her linen pants. With each turn of the page, a fleeting breeze dances through the room, stirring the light linen, creating a soft rustling sound. The world, still wrapped in the dreamy aftermath of the night, feels suspended in time. Her eyes scan the lines, absorbing the words as if they are sustenance, filling the quiet spaces within her with warmth and inspiration. In this sanctuary of her small room, as the light deepens and expands, the balance of her spirit aligns with the supple peace of the morning. Outside, the horizon begins to blush with color, a signal that daybreak is arriving, inviting her to step into it. Refreshed and ready, her feet glide over the smooth, worn floorboards, each step a whisper against the wood. The air is thick with a fragile stillness, infused with the past echoes of laughter and the warmth of forgotten stories. As she moves, the pale moonlight filters through the pane, casting elongated shapes that twine with the shadows. Dust motes float lazily in the beam, each tiny speck a fragment of the moment. Suspended in time, she pauses at the threshold, absorbing the serenity that envelops her, a fluid connection to the world around her. The night hums softly, a hushed lullaby, and she feels an ethic of quietude wrap around her like a familiar blanket, soft and enveloping. With a gentle sway, she steps further into the main space, the weightlessness intensifying with each movement. The linen of her tunic brushes against her skin, light and airy as it flows with her. She raises her gaze to the asymmetrical beams overhead, their textures highlighted by the silver light, transforming the ordinary into a sacred space. A cool breeze sneaks in through the slightly ajar window, rustling the pages of a forgotten book resting on the table, sending a whispering cascade of potential stories into the air. She extends her arms slightly, as if inviting the wind to join her in this dance, her heart swelling with each steady breath, a rhythmic pulse shared with the cottage's very soul. She drifts to the window, drawn by the promise of dawn hanging just beyond the glass. The horizon, a whisper of gold and soft blues, promises a new beginning, vibrant yet tender, In this transient moment, she feels the divide between dreams and reality dissolve. The encapsulated night mingles with the hopeful whispers of day. Breath held. She gazes out at the sleeping world, trees arching like slumbering giants under a quilt of soft mist. Everything falls away but the rhythm of her own heartbeat. Syncing with the awakening world. The soft touch of the glass cools against her fingertips, anchoring her before she embraces whatever awaits. She exhales slowly, surrendering to the profound calm that envelops her, a knowing that she is both a part of this world and serenely apart from it. The young woman places her fingertips lightly on the sun-warmed surface of the kitchen table as she gathers dry cedar kindling from a nearby crate. Its rough bark texture grating pleasantly against her skin. In the dim morning light filtering through the single window, she carefully arranges the pieces in the belly of the small cast-iron stove, a reassuring presence in the cozy corner. With a swift motion, she strikes a match, the flame momentarily illuminating her soft moss-green eyes as it flares to life. The gentle crackle of wood igniting breaks the heavy silence, echoing with a brightness that feels expansive against the room's quietude. As the flame catches hold, the crisp scent of cedar permeates the air, unveiling hours of drowsiness and fog with its sharp clarity. She closes her eyes briefly, letting the warmth of the rising smoke envelop her in a familiar embrace, anchoring her to this very morning. The flickering flame dances gently, shadows cast against the textured iron of the stove, a rhythmic heartbeat in the stillness. She leans closer, her long dark brown hair falling forward slightly, blocking out the chilled air of the room. The fire swells, crackling as the cedar ignites fully, releasing a fragrant plume that fills her slightly narrowed nostrils with earthy warmth. With a gentle inhale, her slender body relaxes, the tension in her shoulders dissipating as she watches the intertwining smoke rise, twisting and turning like a wisp of memory. Within the confines of this small kitchen alcove, something profound stirs. Each breath is imbued with clarity as the warmth seeps into her skin, dissolving remnants of last night's vague anxieties. Overhead, sunlight begins to illuminate the dust motes in the air, casting a golden glow that highlights the quiet charm of her simple surroundings, a moment of magic woven into the everyday fabric of her life. The aroma of cedar now thickens, wrapping her in a cocoon of comfort as she leans back, her posture relaxed yet attentive, hands resting loosely at her sides. Her eyes roam across the brightening kitchen, taking in the aged wood of the cabinetry and the cheerful patterns on the ceramic dishes lined up neatly beside the stove. With each flicker of light, she visualizes her day taking shape amidst the quiet, her thoughts becoming as clear as the morning that brightens around her. She stands straighter, adjusting her cream-colored linen tunic, smoothed against the gentle curves of her body as she feels an invigoration coursing through her veins. The small stove continues its rhythmic pop and hiss, a reassuring presence as her own heartbeat sinks to the cadence, reminding her that she is here, present, grounded in this moment before the world expands beyond her little kitchen. Water splashes softly as the young woman fills a small kettle from the cool ceramic basin, droplets glistening like tiny gems before running down the outer surface. The kettle's smooth, rounded belly reflects the muted light of the room, where soft shadows dance on the earthen-colored walls. She places the kettle on the stove, its metallic sheen contrasting with the rustic warmth of the surroundings. Meanwhile, she chooses a simple earthenware mug, its surface cool yet inviting under her fingers. With practiced precision, she measures a spoonful of dried chamomile flowers, their delicate scent wafting up to greet her. She adds a sliver of ginger, the texture firm and knobby against her skin. The kettle hums quietly, a gentle anticipatory vibration that fills the air. The kettle emits a sudden whistle, a clear, sharp note cutting through the room's stillness. With careful movement, she lifts the kettle, its weight reassuring as she pours the steaming water into the mug. Chamomile blooms in a golden swirl as the water cascades, steam curling like delicate fingers into the cool air around her. She watches intently, fascinated by the dance of warmth and scent, the earthy tones of the flowers merging with the spice of the ginger to create a fragrant cloud. Setting the kettle down, she cradles the warm mug in both hands, feeling the heat radiate through the ceramic, infusing her fingertips with gentle warmth. This sensation draws her deeper into the present, a cocoon of comfort enveloping her senses. Bringing the mug to her lips, she pauses to inhale its fragrant steam, the earthy aroma taking her on a sensory journey. As the warm liquid meets her mouth, she savors the infusion of chamomile, sweet and soothing, intertwined with the bright zing of ginger. Each sip spreads a gentle warmth throughout her body, down to her core, anchoring her in stillness. Her moss-green eyes close momentarily, losing themselves in this quiet moment. The world outside fades into the background, leaving only the sound of her mindful breathing and the residual warmth of the mug in her hands. A feeling of grounding envelops her, as if the very essence of the earth is cradling her softly in its arms. Mug in hand, she steps across the cool wooden floor toward the low, padded armchair, its fabric soft and well-loved, inviting her to sink deeply. The morning sun spills through the large window, casting a warm glow that dances across the glen outside. She settles into the chair, releasing her weight into its plush embrace, feeling the contours mold to her slender form. The air carries a hint of dew, fragrant and refreshing, and she inhales deeply, rooting herself in the present. The armrests cradle her arms as she allows the soft fabric to envelop her, her feet finding a solid footing on the polished boards beneath. A brief flutter of anticipation whispers inside her as she closes her moss-green eyes, focusing on the sensation of the world gently cradling her. In this moment, she feels entirely supported, a deep connection to the cottage and the earth below. Consciously surrendering further, she angles her body to face the glen, the sunlight illuminating her heart-shaped face, revealing the serenity in her expression. The gentle rustle of leaves outside accompanies the rhythmic pattern of her breath, each inhale a response to the graceful union of nature and comfort. She feels the texture of the linen tunic against her skin, a soothing reminder of simplicity. With her eyes closed, she lifts the mug to her lips, savoring the warm liquid within, its steam curling upward, mingling with the crisp morning air, wrapping around her senses like a soft blanket. In this tranquil cocoon, the world outside fades away, leaving only the sounds of nature and her steady heartbeat, harmonizing with the peaceful ambience. She takes a moment to appreciate the taste, the rich warmth settling in, as she allows herself to release any lingering tension in her body further. In this embrace of solitude and comfort, her thoughts become fluid, effortlessly drifting like the clouds overhead. The glen outside unfurls in hues of green and gold, reflecting the awakening life of the morning. Her feet still planted firmly on the cool floor, she feels each pulse of the earth resonate through her, grounding her further. A faint breeze flutters through the window, tousling her loose, dark brown hair slightly, a playful reminder of the world beyond. Yet she remains steadfast in her cozy refuge. In this sacred space, time feels suspended, just her, the chair, and the inviting warmth of the day ahead. Horizons stretching before her waiting to be embraced. Soft linen brushes against her skin, the texture cool and inviting as the fabric settles comfortably over her slender frame. The rich aroma of steaming tea rises from the mug nestled in her hands, a tender warmth contrasting with the gentle caress of the morning air that streamed through the window. Her fingers, splayed delicately on the mug's rounded sides, encompass its warmth like a cherished memory. Eyes closing, she focuses inward, tracing the subtle rhythm of her heartbeat, feeling the echoes of each thud resonate through her being like a drum marking time. The world outside is bathed in golden sunlight, illuminating the small room where she sits, each beam a soft embrace of warmth that complements the steady pulse of her existence. Every gentle sound, from the distant rustle of leaves to the faint whistle of the kettle, becomes a thread in the fabric of her presence, weaving tranquility into her core. A profound stillness envelops her as she sinks deeper into this moment. Hands heavy and relaxed in her lap, she feels each muscle yielding to gravity's gentle embrace. The weight of her hands is strangely comforting, The air is filled with the soft rustling of paper as a slight breeze flutters through the open window, rattling the leaves outside and reminding her of the world continuing on. However, within this safe cocoon, she feels detached, a calm observer. The texture of the linen tunic holds the memory of countless breaths and moments. Her soft moss-green eyes flicker open briefly, absorbing the warm hues of sunlight pouring through the glass. They settle back to a soft gaze, a quiet acknowledgement of her presence. The room pulsates with life around her, but she remains anchored in this private universe, savoring the sweetness of simply being without the pressure of oughts or demands. As her body continues to relax, she becomes acutely aware of her breath, slow and deep. She tests the boundaries of her lungs with each inhale and exhale. The gentle rhythm mimics the heartbeat that has become both a metronome and a lullaby. Her shoulders drop, the tension that once lingered around her neck unfurling like petals in bloom. A delicate smile unfurls on her lips, as if she is sharing a personal secret with the morning light. The mug's warmth seeps into her hands, radiating comfort that spreads through her arms, infusing her body with serenity. She pauses, simply feeling the texture of the world around her, the linen soft against her skin and freedom enveloping her spirit. No longer striving, she simply exists, caught in a fleeting moment that sings of peace. Her mind a canvas painted with hues of now, allowing her heart to find rest amidst the burgeoning day. In the soft light of dawn, warmth radiates from the cast-iron stove, its gentle crackling a balm against the stillness clinging to the air. The pale hue of morning filters through the window panes, illuminating the subtle dance of dust motes swirling lazily in the beams. She breathes in deeply, feeling the comforting texture of her linen tunic brush against her skin, the fabric cool yet inviting under her fingertips. A clock ticks softly in the background, its rhythm slow and measured, creating a soothing heartbeat of an awakening world. Her senses expand, tethering her to this moment, where the air is thick with the smell of wood smoke and something undefined, something primal that speaks to her core. In this cocoon of serenity, thoughts, like clouds, float by, transient and light, leaving no weight upon her mind. Gradually, the boundaries of her consciousness stretch beyond the confines of the room. She senses the air outside, thick with the scent of damp earth and blooming flora, an unseen garden teeming with life at the brink of summer. With each slow exhale, she feels herself expanding into this vibrant silence, drawing upon the stillness that envelops her like a familiar embrace. Her fingers delicately trace the surface of the countertop, each groove and smooth curve grounding her in the present moment. The soft rustle of leaves beyond the window merges with her own heartbeat, creating a symphony of peace that resonates within her. Each distant bird call, each whispering breeze becomes an extension of her being, melding the external and internal worlds into one seamless experience. She embraces this profound connection. The unshakable calm that blooms within her like an unfolding flower. Thoughts float by, each one a delicate wisp that scarcely stirs the deep stillness she occupies. As the sun climbs higher, spilling golden light across the room, she feels an unshakable sense of confidence rooted in this state of awareness. Each moment stretches, filled with the quiet understanding that she is part of something far greater, a connection weaving through the fabric of being. The ticking clock emerges as a metronome of existence, yet its sound becomes a gentle reminder of her own heartbeat. Steady and calm, her chest rises slowly, expanding with the expansive air as if she were drawing in the essence of the world itself. There, in the cradle of morning, she embraces her thoughts as they pass, free of weight or urgency, anchoring herself in the tranquil rhythm of her own life unfolding. The floorboards make a soft creaking sound beneath her feet as Ilara shifts slightly in her chair, allowing the solid, cool wood to cradle her. The sun's first light slips through the window, draping itself over her shoulders like a warm, golden shawl. She senses the room awaken with her, the air filled with the faint scent of earth and morning dew, all wrapped in the profound stillness that precedes a new day. Each ray that dances across the floor seems to reach for her, as if encouraging her to rise from this quiet haven. In this intimate moment, the chair, the floor, and the light forge a bond, supporting and embracing her, offering an unspoken solace that settles deep into her being. With a gentle sigh, Ilara opens her moss-green eyes, the sun's rays gently nudging her into the world. The light fills her vision, blending seamlessly with the flecks of dust that dance in the air, each particle shimmering like a tiny star spun in the infinite tapestry of morning. She raises a slender hand, fingers brushing lightly against the fabric of her cream-colored tunic, the texture soft beneath her touch. The lingering warmth carries the earth's energy as she stretches, feeling the awakening life around her pulse through her. It resonates within her, amplifying a deep, quiet strength that rises from within, unfurling like the first leaves heralding spring. This new clarity suffuses her mind, washing away the remnants of sleep until she feels as light as air, buoyed by the promise of the day ahead. She rises from the chair, feet meeting the cool wooden floor firmly, grounding herself in the present moment. A soft smile plays upon her lips, a reflection of the quiet joy thrumming within her as she steps towards the window. Drawn by an unseen force, the world outside comes into view. Lush greenery kissed by dawn, vibrant and alive. Ilara's fingers trail along the windowsill, the coolness contrasting with the warm light that envelops her. With every breath, she absorbs the stillness outside, allowing the beauty of the awakening day to seep into her heart. She remains poised and deliberate, ready to embrace whatever challenges may come with a clear mind and a strong spirit. Her surroundings echoing her internal peace as she steps deeper into the glow of the morning.